My entire childhood was spent in Bangkok, Thailand, and I was told that I was almost 4 months old when we first got there. My parents were commissioned as missionaries through the American Baptists. So my mother always told me that my first language was Thai, and the first words I ever learned to speak were in the Thai language, and the English came along with it. And eventually I came back to college and stayed in the States. That's kind of the pattern for most of the people I grew up with. But throughout my life, and this happens to missionary kids, you find that you can adapt to almost anywhere, but that you're not necessarily at home anywhere. And I still retain this love for the land of my childhood. I was able to visit a few times. But I found myself wondering as I went through my life and found myself going to seminary, found myself becoming a minister, found myself becoming a pastor, wondering, here is this skill that I have, this cross-cultural ability, this fluency in a language that's not very common in this country. I wonder if I'll ever be able to use it again. And I was really surprised, but I found myself saying, I would like that. And since that time, some different things have happened to show more and more the need that seems to be occurring over there. And it's just seemed like the voice of God has come to me again and again with this invitation. And some people have said to me, since I've answered the invitation and been received by Global Ministries, some people have asked, well, won't this be wonderful because you can go back home again? And my answer is that no, there have been so many changes over the years. It wouldn't be a matter of going home, but it would be a matter of using some unique skills that I gained as a child in a place where they seem to be really needed right now. The Church of Christ in Thailand, in their general offices, they need more than one person who can speak Thai and English well, who can translate across the cultures and the languages. A number of things are starting to change in Southeast Asia and around Thailand. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, which is known as ASEAN, is beginning to cooperate more and more, from what I understand, and the year 2015 is going to be a big date for that. And it sounds like there's going to be, the borders are going to be more open, there are going to be a lot more visitors to Thailand, and I understand that's partly because it is one of the more economically stable and one of the more stable in general countries in the region, comparatively anyway. One of the ones that's perhaps better known to us in this country is human trafficking. The sex industry is pretty severe in Thailand. It's something that our disciples women have been addressing worldwide for the past several years, the issue of human trafficking. It is a difficulty in Thailand, a real problem, and churches and Christians have been working for years to try to help folks escape from that industry, to find real work to do. The office that I would be working with helps as a clearinghouse for people to obtain visas to come to the country to do that kind of work, or just to visit that work so they can take it back to their churches and find supporters for that work to continue. One of the things that's just come out in the last couple months, at least in this country, is that there is human trafficking in the fishing industry in Thailand. Now, we're not sure how long that's been going on because the news has only come to us recently. But I know that the churches are going to want to find a way to respond to that pain and that injustice. But this is a hope that I have just kind of had in my mind, and I'm hoping that some of the pastors in the Thai churches themselves and in the tribal churches and the different ethnic groups that are there would be able to write their stories of the ministry that's happening in their region of the country, because some of the social and some of the justice issues are different in the different regions. Some of the needs are different. And I'm hoping that they can write their stories and I can help them to translate them into English. And so there would be even that much more communication with folks in this part of the world. So that we can all realize more that everybody really is my brother and sister. You know, God really didn't create us to be separate or different in value. Folks in every part of the world have the same hopes, the same desires. You know, they want to have a decent life. They want their children to become educated. They want to be able to live in peace, live in hope. And we're all just very much alike. And certainly the bond that we have through Christ brings us that much closer together. And we as disciples, when we look back at our history and our heritage, it's always emphasized that. You know, the prayer of Jesus that we always be one is something that's been so important to disciples. It really seems like the need is increasing rapidly, and that's why it seems urgent. I'm kind of amazed that I'm being invited because, in a way, I don't feel that it was my idea originally. I feel that the invitation was coming kind of at the nudging of God. And every time things seem to quiet down, I hear from somebody. I hear from somebody in Thailand. I hear from somebody at Global Ministries. Well, this is in the works. This is happening. It seems as if God's hand has been at work in bringing about this possibility.